Are you a fresher preparing for an interview for the post of an assistant professor and you have no clue how to do your preparation? Then, my friend, let me tell you, this video was meant for you. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel S Chemistry. My name is Sonal, and in today's video we are going to talk about 6 important factors or 6 base factors on which you can do your preparation if you are a fresher planning to answer an interview for the post of an assistant professor in the field of chemistry. So if you guys have already received the interview call letter and maybe you have a week's time or a few days time and you are completely clueless about how to go forward with your preparations, then this video is going to be really helpful to you. I will be talking about 6 base factors using which you can do your preparation for this interview. So without wasting any time further, let's get started. Also, if you guys are new to my channel, then please subscribe my channel. Let's touch that mark of 500 subscribers. I make videos related to chemistry and teaching. And please note, every point that I'm going to make ahead is completely based on my prior experience. It worked for me and that's why I'm sharing it with you all, hoping that it will work for you guys as well. But things might be different. You can't really predict, but I would be more than happy to provide a helping hand. So when you go for an interview, there are basically 2 things that you need to keep in mind. The first thing is your pre-preparations, the preparations which you do before entering the interview hall or the venue where your interview is scheduled, right? So today's video is going to be based on those pre-preparations which you can do. And then the second thing or the second factor to keep in mind is when you walk in at the location of your interview, your presentation. So how do you present yourself? How do you answer the questions? How do you deliver a demo? So interviews are actually a combination of these 2 things. One is the pre-preparation and the second one is your presentation. Today's video we are going to specifically focus on freshers, because as a fresher your pre-preparation is extremely important. Because as a fresher, when you walk in for an interview, one major disadvantage that you can have as a fresher, which I had as a fresher, is lack of experience. Like you haven't really taught yet in a college or in a university. So lack of experience is something that we need to tackle by improving on other skills, because there might be other candidates against whom you are competing and they might be experienced candidates, right? So one major disadvantage which I feel for a fresher is lack of experience, provided you have never really taught before. Otherwise you can really have experience of maybe teaching in a coaching institute or taking tuitions. That can also count. But as a fresher you need to see that how you can build up other skills which will help you to overcome this lack of experience issue. So that's why I say that your pre-preparations have to be very solid, they have to be very foundational. So first thing that you need to keep in mind is that when you go for an interview for the post of an assistant professor, your interview will be categorized or divided into 2 sections. Okay, the first section will be full of personal questions, which is a personal interview kind of a thing, wherein you will be asked questions like introduce yourself, what is your method of teaching, then your qualifications, then your strengths, your weaknesses, and I have some videos for that as well on my channel. You guys can check them out later. And the second section of your interview is going to be a technical round. Technical round is wherein the committee is going to evaluate the candidate for his or her subject knowledge. So technical is going to be based on your subject preference. So first thing to keep in mind while doing your preparation, now I would recommend using a book and noting down the points on which you are going to focus and then work on them, and once you are done with it you can strike them off. It becomes easier when you have things written down and you have a plan of how you're going to go about with your preparations. Okay, so let's begin with the very first factor. The first thing is we need to pick a preference. Now I'm going to specifically talk about chemistry, and in chemistry, let's just say that I'm going for an interview as an inorganic chemist, inorganic chemistry. So I have to be aware of the preference. So there are advertisements for physical chemistry, inorganic chemistry, organic chemistry, analytical, pharmaceutical, biochemistry, right? There are a few options available. Now, some colleges also just mention chemistry, then you need to be a little bit more cautious and do your preparation a little bit for all of the subtopics or the sub branches. Okay, so let's just take for an example. I have picked my preference, which is the first fact I'm talking about, as inorganic chemistry. Okay, now what I need to do next is I will have to either get a copy of the syllabus with respect to the college or with respect to the post that you're applying for, whether it is at the bachelor's level or whether it is at the master's level. I will have to download a copy of the syllabus and go through all the inorganic topics which are present in the syllabus. Okay, so once I have picked my preference, I need to know what are the possible topics which are there. Like in organic chemistry, we can have coordination chemistry, then solid state chemistry, organometallic chemistry, bioinorganic chemistry, then we can have also your the periodic table, the S block, P block, D block, F block chemistry. So the block chemistry is also a very crucial topic. Then we have catalysis, we have inorganic spectroscopy, then we also have group theory, right? Now group theory might not be a crucial topic at the bachelor's level, but it will be a very important topic at the master's level. So first thing is we like pick the preference, and then we know the topics which are present in the syllabus for your preference. Second factor is once you have these topics ready, I will have to do my preparations to know the basics of each of this topic. Okay, now this isn't a very difficult thing, because when you are applying for an assistant professor, I'm assuming that you have already finished with your bachelor's and master's level, right? And the application will be with respect to your specialization. So all of these topics we have already studied at sorry for that, all of these topics we have already studied at the bachelor's level, at the master's level. So you need to know like the surface level knowledge of all of these topics. I will give you an example of coordination chemistry. So if you are doing your preparation for coordination chemistry, the surface level knowledge, okay, I'm not talking about in-depth concept, but the basics. For example, if it is coordination chemistry that we are preparing, okay, I will have to know what is coordination chemistry, or who invented coordination chemistry, what is a coordination compound, okay, then different examples of coordination compounds, nomenclature of coordination compounds, then also what is primary valency, what is secondary valency, what is a coordination sphere, what is a balancing cation, what are the differences between double salts and coordination compounds, then what is a coordinate bond, how are coordination compounds formed, okay. And then there are some theories that we have, like VSCPR theory, VPT theory, like the basics, like crystal field, the splitting pattern, D-splitting, DD transitions, like the basics, okay, which we have majorly done at bachelor's level, and obviously in depth of it which would be done at master's as well. So you need to have like a surface level idea of all these topics which you have picked up from the syllabus under your specialization. Okay, so that is the second thing to do. So you will obviously require a book, and you can make like shorthand notes in point forms. Nobody is like asking you answer the following. It's just going to be one word answer or a line answer. Okay, some cases it is slightly descriptive, but then if you know the concept, you can make it up on your own at your interview, right? So that is the second factor which we need to keep in mind. Now, coming to the third factor, and I wasn't really aware of this initially, but then later through some interviews I was introduced to it, is in some cases, right, in some rare cases, for some of the interviews, the panel members might ask you your preference, okay, like preference of topics. So I was asked this for one of my interviews, okay, wherein they gave me a preference of picking up around 2 to 3 topics, okay. Now do that for yourself before only, like give yourself or ask yourself which of the following topics are my strength, your core strength, okay, wherein you know that you're excellent, Okay, so pick those topics and prepare thoroughly, like go in depth, okay, in detail for every concept of 2 to 3 topics from your above section. So maybe for inorganic I will pick up coordination chemistry. Okay, I will pick up bioinorganic chemistry because I love bioinorganic chemistry, and I will also pick up inorganic spectroscopy. Okay, now these particular 3 topics I will do in depth. Okay, in depth whatever the concepts are available. For example, I'll tell you of coordination chemistry itself. So in coordination chemistry, the core topics, which you see for gate, which you see for CSI and net, for example, is your John Taylor distortion. Okay, John Taylor distortion. Then there is spin crossover phenomenon. Okay, then there is the Nabe-Sinago diagram, like the in-depth topics which are available, which we usually do during our master's level. So I will have to do my preparations for that as well. So that is the third thing to keep in mind. And you just have to be careful when you're picking these topics. When you pick these topics, you have to be certain that you are very good in this. Like for example, I wouldn't pick catalysis because obviously I can prepare for catalysis, but that will take me a longer time, right? Or I wouldn't even pick organometallic chemistry, maybe, because there are many concepts which I know that I might not be strong enough for my interview, but I know that I'm very good in coordination. I know that I'm very good in inorganic spectroscopy, so I'll go for those, which where my strength lies, basically. Okay, so that's the third factor to keep in mind. The fourth factor, which I have already made a video on, is to prepare a demo session. Okay, a demo delivery is a very crucial part of any teaching position interview. Okay, so again, for demo delivery, you can pick one of these topics itself, which we picked earlier as our strength, right? Maybe I would go for coordination, or I would go for inorganic spectroscopy. Okay, so demo session, how do you deliver a demo, how do you prepare a demo? I have a video for that on my channel already. I'll put the link down below. Okay, and one important thing to keep in mind is the topic that you're choosing for demo delivery has to be within the syllabus. Okay, because I remember for my very first interview, which was very bad, I went ahead for this bachelor's level assistant professor's post, and I prepared a demo session on my project, like my MSc project, which was based on supramolecular chemistry. And supramolecular chemistry was not included in the syllabus. I was so embarrassed of myself. Obviously, I didn't deliver the demo as well. But don't do that mistake, okay? Pick a topic which is within the scope of the syllabus. So that is the fourth factor to keep in mind. The fifth thing to keep in mind, and I don't know how much I can stress on it because it is so, so, so crucial. The fact as an assistant professor, it's quite an important and a tough job, right? And you'll be standing and delivering a lecture to a bunch of adults, to a bunch of students, and it is sorry, it is our job to keep them motivated or keep them interested in the subject that we are teaching, for example chemistry, right? So for that, for us itself, it is very crucial to be updated with the current research topics happening around us in the world, basically in India or out of India. It is important that we as an assistant professor are updated with the current research that is going on. Okay, so just keep yourself updated on a few research topics, maybe related to your specialization here and there, because I remember for 2 interviews, like literally for 2 interviews, I was asked questions on the lithium ion batteries. They received the Nobel Prize in the year 2019 for in the field of chemistry, and that was for the lithium ion batteries. And the first time I was asked, I didn't know. Like, I knew what a lithium ion battery is, but I didn't know the in-depth knowledge of it. And again, I was literally embarrassed. And then somehow I read about it the day I got back, and then again for another interview there was a question on it. Right? So keep yourself updated with a few of the topics, with a few of the scientists who won the Nobel Prize. Like recently, the Nobel Prize was given in the field of chemistry for click chemistry, so just be updated with the current research. Now, nobody is going to ask you to explain or in depth, okay, but just again, surface level knowledge of these topics. So that brings us to the last factor, the sixth one that we need to keep in mind is this can be now optional, you know. This is with respect to a project or a dissertation, which in case you have done at the bachelor's level or you have done at the master's level. So be up to date with the work that you have done. Okay, I had done a project at my bachelor's level in nanochemistry, and at my master's level, I had worked in the field, sorry again, in the field of supramolecular chemistry. So you have to be well versed with your work, okay, because you can always be asked a question, have you done any project, or have you done some research work, kind of a thing, you know. And you have to be well versed with this, you know, because you cannot really be confused with respect to things which are related to your own project, because a project is something on which you work as an individual under the guidance of your supervisor. But still, like, we do put in efforts of 6 months to a year or maybe less than that, but still, when you say that you have done a project, that means you have worked on a project, and we are supposed to be aware of the contents of that project. Okay, so if at all sorry again, if at all you have worked on something, then be thorough with it. If you have like a copy of it, try to carry it. And the same goes for, you know, if you have any research publication, okay, try to have a PDF or like a hard copy of it with you. And you can, if you have a research paper or your project, then you can always include it in your introduction as well. That will give the committee or the panel members a hint that you have worked on a project, and then they can ask you questions regarding to that. So most of the time, once with respect to my supramolecular chemistry project, I was asked to put down the reactions and explain the mechanism. And once I was asked questions on the basis of the spectroscopic analysis, you know, like the NMR data, the IR data. So you have to be like prepared with the kind of work that you have done. So that was the last thing, or the last factor I wanted to share with you guys. So that's it for today's video. I hope this video was helpful, and I hope it helps you to get that particular job or crack the interview that you guys are working for. So all the best from my side, and thank you so much for watching. If you guys did like the video, then please give this video a thumbs up and share this video with your friends and family, or whoever you think might be interested. And also please do subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys next time. Until then, bye bye.